I'm here with Emily Cadiz, Program Director of Educator. You work with a lot of kids. Welcome, Emily.
Hi, well, aloha.
Aloha. Here on Kauai. Just tell us a little bit about how you see your work working with the next generation.
So I work for various organizations. The first one being Hui Makaina no o Makana, which is a nonprofit of lineal descendant families from Ha'ena on the island of Kauai. And we are in the taro fields, the lowland, and the nearshore fisheries. And I also work for Limahuli Gardens. Just upstream of the Hui is Limahuli Gardens, and they are a different entity, a national tropical botanical garden in the upper watershed that so combined together, they are two different entities but work in one watershed, or what we call one ahupua'a in Ha'ena. And so I am the education initiative that is shared between these two organizations. And then I also work for Namaka Onauna, which is another nonprofit that does education island and statewide. And for me, education has always been a part of my life, whether I realize it or not. My dad was an educator, my mom's an educator, so I tend to laugh and realize that I ended up in their shoes, very much so, and I'm proud of that. But education has always been probably the biggest tool. I was just sharing in a panel yesterday that a lot of my colleagues and my friends who were and people that I really look up to in Hawaii and in the work that we do are all in education positions. And I think that's really where the power is, where the change is, where the direct impact is in education, is working with our youth. And when I say education as well, in the position that I'm in, it's not just a selected age group. We're literally talking, we say from Kiki to Kupuna, which is anywhere from early childhood education all the way to our elders, and offering education programs, workshops, and experiences for our whole community.
And this is not, as I understand, just in a classroom. This is out in the fields, at the shore, like you say, up in the watershed.
Absolutely.
Getting your hands dirty, getting into it.
Yep, we are your ideal classroom. And that's what the first thing I opened up with our field trip yesterday for the folks at this conference is, this is the classroom. These are the walls of our classroom. Our boundaries are from the mountains to the sea, and our programs and our education are all place-based. So it's a very direct connection to everything that our kids and our youth and our community are learning is directly what we call our Ha'ena curriculum. It's from food to water to our mo'olelo, our stories of our places, our famous stories, our famous plants of that place. Everything that Ha'ena is known for, from the values to the stories and history of that place, and even to today, how we manage it, how we take care of that place today, is all embedded in our curriculum.
And so I've been so impressed at the level of knowledge that people have about sort of everything, about the history, as you say, about the place, about the plants. Is that something that's had to be recovered because some of it was lost? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of efforts now to bring young people up and sort of pass all that along.
Yeah, I would say that it hasn't been something that's ever been lost, because it's always existed within the families and the people of the places that hold these stories, that are our knowledge keepers, as we say, or what we also call ahipio ole, the people that carry the fires of the wisdom and of these places. But I would definitely say that some of the people that we sit among here today at this conference, like Neil Hannes, Uncle Press, some of our elders in the community, definitely have made space for these types of initiatives, and for us to be at this place in our lives to offer these kind of more opportunities than maybe what had been available when they were at this age. And so, I would definitely say that there is definitely more talk and more funding and more everything around community-based grassroots efforts and investment in the next generation. And I see that more and more in my 10 years of being with this organization. And that's really hopeful for me, because I'm still young in my career, you know, so to see that these shifts are already being made and we have so much more to go, but that we're being supported in this direction feels really good.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned, community and the hyena community in particular, but in general having to sort of work and live and earn the trust, I suppose, of the community. Just tell us a little bit about how you did that yourself.
Yeah, so I'm not from the community that I work in. I'm from another island, Oahu, 20 minutes away. And as I kind of shared with you earlier, that my story of coming to this place is even as a local girl, even though you're from Hawaii, every place is different, every community is different, every family is different, and you really should approach every place and space very humbly and respectfully. And I just followed that, and I also followed my gut of what, or as we say it in Hawaiian, our na'au, kind of our intuition of what guides us to wherever our life takes us next. And so I met the Ha'ena community during transitioning out of my undergraduate studies from UH Hilo on the Big Island to my master's at UH Manoa back on Oahu, and started working with the community on their nearshore fisheries. Ha'ena is the first community in the state of Hawaii to be designated as a community-based subsistence fishing area. So as a local girl, just learning and really buzzing off of community grassroots efforts in natural resource management, just came upon this community that was in the driver's seat in full force. It wasn't reading it out of a book anymore. These people were doing it, living it. It wasn't ever lost for these people. And that just really gravitated me towards them and aligned so much with where I saw my next chapter of life going. And so moved to Ha'ena during the summer, lived among the community with no agenda, no timeline, no funding, just open and willing to take in and be of service in any way. And it led to my master's thesis, which was helping them with their community-based subsistence fishing area, and then turned into the opportunity to move full-time to Kauai and become their first employee and build it to what it is today, 10 years later, of a joint education initiative. So.
And you've seen some of these kids grow up, I imagine,
yes.
Year after year.
Yeah.
And does it change their kind of trajectory or what they want to do with their lives?
Yeah, I mean, we hear from all the parents all the time through our intercession programs, especially our summer program, where the families on that side say, man, our kids hate going to school, but they love this school, they love this program, they look forward to summer program. And that's always really good to hear, especially for kids that I feel like have been doing our program since they were really little. They just look forward to our type of education that we offer because it resonates with them. They're from that place. This is their backyard. This is the community and family and that they're invested in. And so to learn out of what a traditional school really is, when we talk about what traditional schools are, it's what we're doing. It's not the school systems that we have today. This is so it makes sense to me that it resonates with our local kids. And so that's been really, that really keeps me going, is hearing the need in the community and also the interest. I mean, all the time our parents ask if we could ever be a full-time school, which we would love to be one day when we have the resources to do so.
I know one of the projects is this taro project. Just tell us a little bit about the importance of taro. Yeah,
so kalo is our elder sibling in the Hawaiian culture. It came before the first kanaka, and so we treat it and we treat it and take care of it as such. The kalo that we grow in Ha'ena is only for community consumption. We don't sell. Everything is shared and given to our community to feed our community. So we have community work days every first and third Saturday where we send families home with kalo. We have a really awesome farm staff in Ha'ena that produce kalo or poi and give it out to the families from Ha'ena every Friday. And so we really feed our community, and also with our fisheries designation, we really ensure like food security as well through the fisheries. So just really putting at the forefront our traditional foods and making it accessible for community, and also making sure that it's in abundance in perpetuity.
It sounds kind of like paradise in a way. What are the challenges?
I think similar challenges that all nonprofits go through. We're a grassroots organization that's really grown. Like our president, Uncle Presley, has said, like just within the past few years, we've had quantum leaps of where we're at today in terms of scale, in terms of funding, in terms of staffing. Like we're in a whole different place. And so that always comes with its growing pains, you know, as a grassroots organization that's used to being grassroots to now operating a little bit more like a business, but a business for the families and for the community.
And what are the challenges for the community? Housing or jobs?
Yes. So in Ha'ena, you don't have much of the families still living there, and land taxes increased significantly and drove a lot of the families out because we have $1 million properties, $1 billion properties out in Ha'ena. So our families, not all of our families are still able to afford and live down there. A lot of our families have moved further away, and so making sure that those families are still in touch with the place and that their kids are still being educated in the places that they're from is really important to us. So that's a big challenge, is just ensuring that we're reaching the people that we want to reach that belong to those places.
And what gives you the most satisfaction in your work?
I think every day. I mean, if it doesn't already give me satisfaction to work in such a beautiful place, I mean, I can only talk about Ha'ena, but we always say when people see it, you really get it. It's an amazing place. It's been my greatest mentor, and so that's one thing that definitely keeps me going, is just where I get to work, who I get to work with, the people and the passions and the potential and the traditions of that place keeps me going, and also the youth and the families. It's just a very dynamic family, and yeah, what better job could you have than that?
If you had one kind of ask from the sort of broader, world, or what would it be?
Ooh, broader ask. I think it would be just to educate yourself, to be open to listening to the stories of the people of the places that you're going to and visiting, and just coming with that aloha, being a good guest, I think is a really important thing. I love to travel, we all love to go places, and I think Hawaii has so much to teach and offer in a lot of things in life, quality of life. I think Hawaii has a lot to offer, and just for people to be good guests to the places that they come to, and really, if you're there to immerse and invest yourself in whatever way that is, to really listen to the people and place.
Well, Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.